The gospel world is trembling tonight because at 58 years old, the legendary Marvin Sapp has just shattered the silence that has followed him for decades. For years, whispers swirled in the pews, murmurs echoed in the choir lofts, and rumors ricocheted across social media, but Marvin never said a word. He kept his head high, his music soaring, his sermons powerful, and the world kept wondering, what is he hiding? What is the truth behind the man whose voice shook nations? And now, in a moment that no one saw coming, Marvin Sapp has finally broken his silence. He didn't dodge. He didn't deny. He looked straight into the storm and accepted every rumor. Fans are stunned. Supporters are crying out in disbelief. And insiders, they're saying this admission could unravel everything we thought we knew about the gospel industry itself. Because these aren't just little church house whispers. These are explosive claims, affairs, betrayals, financial secrets, and spiritual battles that no one ever dared to speak aloud. And Marvin Sapp, the bishop, the chart-topping gospel icon, didn't just acknowledge them. He embraced them. The internet is in chaos. Screenshots are circulating. Leaked voice notes are making rounds. Other gospel stars are weighing in, some in shock, others in silence so heavy it speaks louder than words. What exactly did Marvin Sapp say? Why now? And how deep do these rumors really go? Brace yourself. Because this is the confession no one was prepared to hear. The air was electric when Marvin Sapp finally spoke the words no one thought he would ever utter. He stood before a packed congregation, cameras rolling, microphones buzzing, and dropped the bombshell that left the world gasping. Yes, I've heard every rumor, and tonight I won't run from them anymore. The room went silent. Social media exploded. Within minutes, hashtags like hashtag Marvin Sapp confesses and hashtag rumors accepted were trending worldwide. But it wasn't just the admission itself. It was the way he said it, calm, direct, unflinching, as if he had been carrying the weight of the world for decades and finally decided to set it down in front of everyone. But here's where it gets wild. Almost instantly, insiders started leaking details. One viral Twitter thread claimed that Sapp's inner circle had been begging him not to go public, that some of these so-called nerds were more dangerous than anyone realized. Screenshots of private group chats circulated. If he says too much, they'll bury him. Another message read, he doesn't know what he's unleashing. And then came the betrayal. A former choir member went live on Instagram, tears streaming down her face saying, I was there. I saw the truth with my own eyes. Marvin's not lying, he's finally admitting what we all knew. But couldn't say the live cut out after only a few minutes? But not before thousands of fans screen recorded it and spread it across TikTok like wildfire. Meanwhile, a leaked voice note allegedly from one of Marvin's closest advisors surfaced on YouTube. The grainy recording captured a hushed voice saying, he's opening a door that can't be closed. If he keeps talking, the entire gospel industry will collapse. Was it authentic? No one could prove it. But the drama had already spiraled far beyond control. Then came the backlash. Other gospel stars started chiming in, some cryptically, others directly. One posted a black screen with the words, "Truth destroys more than lies ever could." Fans debated endlessly. Was this aimed at Marvin? Another posted a simple fire emoji, sparking theories of endorsement, betrayal, or both. But the biggest shock came from an unexpected corner. A well-known pastor and former friend of Sapp's went on Facebook Live, his voice shaking with anger. Marvin is exposing things that were never meant to leave the pulpit. He's risking not just his life, but the safety of us all. If he thinks he can carry this burden alone, he's a fool. The comment section was a battlefield. Supporters rallied behind Marvin, calling him brave, finally honest, a man of courage. But critics branded him reckless, irresponsible, and even dangerous. And then the video surfaced. Grainy, shaky, filmed in secret. It showed Marvin in a private backstage moment, pacing, whispering into his phone. They told me this would happen. They said if I ever admitted the truth, I'd pay the price. But I can't hide anymore. The clip cut off abruptly. But it was enough to ignite chaos. Reddit threads exploded with theories. Was Marvin being threatened? Who exactly was behind the warnings? Some claimed it was rival gospel leaders. Others swore it was industry executives afraid of scandal. The lack of clarity only made the frenzy worse. But then came the darkest twist yet. A mysterious account posted a series of alleged emails, supposedly between church leaders and promoters. The subject lines were chilling: control the narrative, damage management. He cannot speak freely. One line buried deep in the thread sent chills across the internet. If he refuses to retract, we will handle it. Fans were horrified. Was this confirmation that Marvin's life was in danger? Or just another elaborate hoax? Either way, the narrative had already taken on a life of its own. And Marvin. He poured fuel on the fire. In his next public appearance, he leaned into the mic and said, "I'm 58. I'm not afraid anymore. The truth has to come out, no matter what it costs me." The congregation screamed, some in support, others in shock. Phones shot into the air, recording every second. Within hours, clips of his words were spliced into dramatic edits on TikTok, accompanied by flashing headlines and ominous music. And just when fans thought they'd heard it all, another betrayal rocked the story. A supposed close friend of Marvin's leaked what they claimed was a private text exchange. One message, allegedly from Marvin himself. Read, "If anything happens to me, tell them I told the truth." The screenshots spread like wildfire, sparking fear, outrage, and heartbreak in equal measure. The backlash was immediate. Gospel radio hosts debated the fallout live on air. Some wept, some raged, some begged him to stop. But Marvin stayed silent, refusing to clarify, refusing to retreat. And then came the cliffhanger that left the entire world stunned. TMZ dropped a blurry video late at night, showing what appeared to be Marvin Sapp being ushered into a black SUV by men in dark suits. He looked shaken, his head low, his lips pressed tight. No sound, no context. Just a haunting image that sent the internet into full-blown hysteria. Fans screamed. Was he taken? Is he safe? Has he been silenced? No answers came. The SUV sped away. The video cut, and the gospel world was left with one terrifying question. Had Marvin Sapp's brave confession already cost him everything? The world didn't sleep after that SUV footage dropped. Gospel fans, conspiracy hunters, and even mainstream outlets demanded answers. Where was Marvin Sapp being taken? Who were the men in black? Why did he look so shaken? For decades, Marvin carried himself as the strong, untouchable bishop of gospel music. But now he looked like a man-cornered. And then, almost like clockwork, the leaks started pouring in. An anonymous account claimed to have hacked into a promoter's private emails. Screenshots revealed frantic exchanges. Canceled the tour dates immediately. Do not allow press access. Damage. Control in effect. Fans dissected every word, convinced this was proof that Marvin had been forcibly silenced. But the story only got darker. A leaked voicemail, allegedly from a gospel industry insider, surfaced online. The trembling voice said, "They warned him. They told him not to admit anything. Now he's paying the price." This isn't just about Marvin. This is about protecting the empire. The recording spread like wildfire. TikTok edits synced the audio with the SUV footage, making it look like a real-time abduction. Meanwhile, celebrities began to weigh in. Some in support, others in thinly veiled criticism. A fellow gospel singer tweeted, "Sometimes silence is wisdom. Sometimes the truth is destroyed." The vague wording sent shockwaves. Was it a subtle jab at Marvin? Or was it a warning to fans to stop digging? But the most devastating blow came from within his own circle. A longtime choir director who once worked closely with Marvin broke down during a live stream. Through sobs, she confessed, "They told us to keep quiet. They told us to deny everything. But Marvin refused. He said he wouldn't lie anymore. Now they're coming for him and I can't stop it." The stream cut out abruptly. But not before thousands clipped it and shared it everywhere. As the chaos raged, a chilling pattern began to emerge. Fans connected dots between Marvin's past controversies and sudden career setbacks. Every canceled appearance, every unexplained hiatus, every odd statement was reframed as evidence of long-buried truths. Reddit threads charted timelines with terrifying precision, painting a picture of a man systematically silenced over the years. Then came the betrayal that no one saw coming. A close friend of Marvin's family allegedly leaked a series of private text messages. One message, allegedly from Marvin himself, read, "I know they're watching me. If I disappear, it wasn't my choice." Another, even more haunting, simply said, "Tell my children the truth will outlive me." The internet erupted. Fans begged for answers. News anchors debated whether the texts were real or fabricated. But one thing was clear. The fear was palpable. And Marvin's silence made it all the more unbearable. And then, shockingly, Marvin's voice broke through the noise, but not live, not in person. A mysterious audio file appeared online. His voice was unmistakable, heavy, tired, but steady. "I carried the weight of these rumors for too long. I couldn't lie to you anymore. I had to confess. But if you're hearing this, know one thing: they will try to erase me. Don't let them." The audio spread like wildfire, downloaded, remixed, dissected. Fans clung to every syllable as if it were his final sermon. Meanwhile, the backlash within the gospel world grew fiercer. Powerful church leaders denounced Marvin publicly, branding him reckless, dangerous, and even unfit to preach. One prominent bishop thundered from his pulpit, "The devil thrives in chaos." Marvin is not exposing the truth. He is spreading destruction. His congregation erupted in applause. But online, fans were enraged, accusing him of being part of the cover-up. And then came the footage that made everyone's blood run cold. A fan uploaded a shaky video from a parking lot in Dallas. It showed Marvin, or someone who looked strikingly like him, being hustled into a building by two men in suits. The fan shouted his name, but Marvin didn't turn around. His head hung low. The clip cut off just as the doors slammed shut. Speculation went wild. Was Marvin under some form of protection? Or was he being held against his will? Theories flooded YouTube, each more dramatic than the last. But the darkest twist came from a shocking leak, what appeared to be an internal church memo. The document detailed strategies for containing Marvin's confession, including controlling media narratives and isolating him from public appearances. The most chilling line read, "His admission threatens decades of work. Neutralization is essential." Neutralization. The word reverberated like a gunshot across the internet. Fans screamed. Comment sections melted down. Was Marvin's life truly in danger? And just when the panic hit fever pitch, another live stream appeared, anonymous, untraceable. It showed Marvin sitting alone in a dimly lit room, staring into the camera. His voice was steady but hollow. "They told me not to speak. They told me I'd regret this. And now, here we are. Pray for me. Pray for the truth." The stream ended abruptly, leaving millions in stunned silence. The gospel world was now in full-blown crisis. Supporters demanded his release. Critics called him delusional. But everyone agreed on one thing. Marvin Sapp was in the fight of his life. And then came the cliffhanger that sent shockwaves across the globe. A mysterious post appeared on Twitter. Just a single image of Marvin's Bible left open on a table. Across the page, written in bold red ink, were the words, "This ends tonight." No caption, no explanation. But fans swore it was Marvin's handwriting. The world froze. Was it a warning? A farewell? Or the final message from a man who dared to accept every rumor and pay the ultimate price? The gospel industry has never seen a storm like this. That haunting Bible photo with the words, "This ends tonight," tore through the internet like lightning, sending fans, pastors, and media outlets into a frenzy. Was Marvin signaling his final stand? Or was it planted by someone determined to silence him for good? And then, like clockwork, another bombshell hit. A secret recording surfaced online, allegedly from a closed-door meeting of church leaders. The muffled voices debated strategy. But one line cut through the static with terrifying clarity. "If he won't retract, we'll make sure he never speaks again." Fans froze. Was this proof of a conspiracy at the very top? Within hours, the clip was scrubbed from YouTube. But by then, it had been downloaded and reposted thousands of times. Meanwhile, Marvin's family finally broke their silence. A relative posted a cryptic Facebook status: "Pray for Marvin." The battle is bigger than you think. It was deleted minutes later, but not before screenshots ignited a wildfire. And then came the emotional collapse that shook even the skeptics. A gospel radio host known for years as Marvin's supporter went live, tears streaming down his face. "I begged him not to do this," he sobbed. "I told him the rumors would destroy him. But he said he'd rather die telling the truth than live in silence." The confession shattered the internet. Replayed endlessly on TikTok, remixed with ominous music and dramatic captions. At the same time, a shocking betrayal rocked the story. A former business partner of Marvin's released what they claimed were financial documents, contracts, ledgers, payouts. They alleged that Marvin had been pressured for years to cover up scandals within the gospel industry, forced to funnel money into silence funds to keep the rumors buried. One chilling note in the ledger read, "Confession equals collapse." Fans were horrified. Was Marvin exposing corruption that reached far beyond himself? Was this why he was being targeted so aggressively now? Then, as the chaos built to a fever pitch, Marvin himself appeared once more, this time in a shaky video uploaded to an anonymous channel. His face was gaunt, his eyes weary, but his voice was firm. "I said I would accept the rumors, and I have. But you need to understand, this isn't just about me. This is about an entire system built on lies, and they are willing to do anything to protect it." The video cut off before he could say more. Within minutes, the channel vanished, leaving only re-uploads and speculation. Meanwhile, rival gospel stars fueled the fire. One tweeted, "The truth will not set you free if you're not ready for the consequences." Another posted a single candle emoji, sparking panic that Marvin's fate was sealed. And then came the most terrifying leak yet. An anonymous hacker group dropped what they claimed were text messages from an executive tied to the church. One line sent chills across the globe: "The bishop's chapter is closed. By morning, the story will change forever." Social media imploded. Hashtags like #Where'sMarvin, #PrayForSapp, and #Bishop-in-Danger trended simultaneously. Fans held digital vigils, flooding live streams with gospel songs and prayers. Others demanded justice, calling for investigations into the industry itself. But the chaos reached its breaking point when TMZ released grainy security footage from a hotel in Houston. The timestamp matched the night of Marvin's last sighting. The video showed him walking alone down a hallway until two unidentified men stepped out of the shadows and followed him. Seconds later, the footage cut. The world erupted in panic. Comment sections melted down. Did they take him? Is he alive? This is bigger than the gospel. This is life or death. And then the final blow. An anonymous YouTube account posted a single chilling video. Black screen. Marvin's voice trembling barely above a whisper. "If you hear this, it means I couldn't escape. But know this, the truth is real. The rumors are real. And the end has already begun." The screen went dark. No visuals. No context. Just silence. The video vanished within hours. But by then, millions had seen it. Millions had shared it. And millions were left with one devastating question. Has Marvin Sapp already paid the ultimate price for accepting every rumor? You've just witnessed the unraveling of a story so explosive, so earth-shattering, that gospel music may never recover from the aftershocks. Marvin Sapp stood up at 58 years old and accepted every rumor, and in doing so, he triggered a storm that no one can control. But here's the terrifying truth. This story could vanish at any moment. Videos get deleted. Live streams get cut. Posts get scrubbed. What you're seeing now may not be here tomorrow. That's why you cannot just watch in silence. You need to act right now. Smash that like button so the truth keeps spreading. Drop a comment with your theory, your evidence, your prayers, because every voice added makes it harder for them to erase the story. And don't think for a second that you can just come back later if you don't subscribe this moment. You may never see the next leak, the next insider confession, the next bombshell Marvin himself leaves behind. This isn't just a video. It's a movement. It's the only way to keep the truth alive when powerful forces want it buried 6 feet deep. If you're watching this, you've already seen the signs. Don't wait. Don't hesitate. Subscribe right now because the next revelation could drop any second. And missing it might mean missing the final chapter in Marvin Sapp's story forever. Final chapter in Marvin Sapp's story forever.